great to see everyone here. So, with no further ado,
good morning. Can you hear me in the back? My name is Chris Joyce, and this morning's talk is on data security. So, the agenda. We'll start with the definition of data security, and then we'll talk about an example of data theft and the consequences for the client. And then we'll look at AMEC Foster-Wheeler policies on data security and what we do to secure our project data. So, the definition of security data. You'll notice I say data, but you could say data or data, depending on where you're from. The definition in the dictionary is individual facts, statistics, and items of information. In project terms, we're talking about technical drawings and documents. And they can be our own, they can be our clients, or they can be our contractors. Data security means protecting data, such as a database, from destructive forces and from unwanted actions and unauthorized users. That's from Wikipedia. So keep that in mind as we move forward into the example. So an example of data theft and the consequences of data theft. This incident occurred a long time ago, far away, and involved a military facility of substantial size. The owner-operator client were called the Empire. And you can see there was a large battle station approximately the size of a small moon and had an advanced weapons system, a top secret facility. A criminal gang had the intentions of stealing the data, the plans for this facility, and exploiting that data for criminal means. The gang successfully stole the electronic data record, effectively the project data record book in our terms on the project. Despite strong leadership and the document management system failure, the failure to secure that data, a crisis management meeting was held with the stakeholders to discuss ways to retrieve or recover that data, but it just ended in squabbling and there were no actual actions taken from that. So, the criminals escaped with the data by hiding it to avoid detection, and they uploaded it to this mobile electronic device, which they could then smuggle out right from under the noses of the owner-operator, a very poor security follow-up. And they downloaded the data, which wasn't encrypted or password protected in any way, and they were able to analyze the 3D model and find a weakness in the design, a weakness in the reactor venting system. Basically, this exhaust port, approximately 2 meters wide, was vulnerable to small fire from the one-man craft. If they could drop a proton torpedo into the shaft, it would travel down into the core of the facility, causing a chain reaction which would disable the facility. So, disguised as subcontractors, they evaded security and attacked the facility. Despite strong counter-terrorism measures and good defences, and even management intervention at the highest level, they unfortunately scored a direct hit at this exhaust port, which caused the desired chain reaction, and the result was catastrophic failure, total loss of the asset, and multiple fatalities. And I'm sure you'll agree it's one of the worst cases of data security breach that one could think of, with the very worst consequences. And the perpetrators remain at large. Of course, that was a fictional account, but it was to get your attention and hopefully make it memorable. So we'll look at AMEC Foster-Wheeler policy and how do we protect our project data. Well, we start with password protection. So our networks are password protected. We all have individual passwords which we are not to share with anybody else, and we're not to use anybody else's password or ID to access any of our software or networks. And if we're given a new application with a new password, a default password from IT, we're to change that password and personalize it on first login. We have a clear desk policy, so we're not to leave commercially sensitive or technical drawings or documents on our desks out of office hours. We lock them in our drawers, we lock our offices, and we keep that data secure. We lock our screens when we walk away from our desks. What's the quickest way to lock your screen? Control or delete?
Window L.
Window L, that's the quickest way I use. So, dispose of hard copies in a shredder. So we don't put technical drawings and documents in the regular bins, we put them in the shredder. I have an anecdote for this one that was given to me by a construction director in an old project which he'd worked in Pakistan with Foster Wheeler, and one of the guys had gone down to the village at night to get a bag of chips or fries, and they usually come wrapped in paper, and they were presented to him wrapped in a P&ID, which means that somebody at the plant wasn't sort of disposing of their drawings in the correct way. We don't copy data to removable media, and that includes R2D2. If I can draw your attention to Project Administration Instruction 28, regarding the removal and transfer and copy of data away from the AMIC Foster Wheeler network. In here we state, please do not ever be tempted or pressurized to copy project data to CD or USB thumb drives. Once data is saved to a portable media, control is lost and all audit trails are gone. So, our technical drawings and documents are stored in WebDMS. They're controlled by document control, and they are issued to approved, authorized individuals on the distribution matrix via transmittals. The individuals use a login ID to get into DocStore to view that data, and that access is extended to our clients. Our external users, so our contractors, have access to satellite post boxes, which accesses the same data, again password protected. And KBox is a client-managed tool, collaboration tool, which is used by some of our disciplines, and again password protected. If data is to be shared outside of the above systems, the only approved method for sharing is MoveIt. Does everyone know what MoveIt is? Okay, this is not a document control system. This is something everybody has access to. It's on the intranet. MoveIt, Enterprise Managed File Transfer System. This is the URL. You'll notice we've got an S for secure. Transferred amecfw.com will get you into this page. On the left-hand margin, we have some selections. If you choose packages and send package, it brings up an email format. In that format, you can choose a recipient, a description, and a body of text. And then using the launch upload wizard, you can add files. Up to 10 gigabytes. Uploading the files brings them onto this screen here. You can add more, take them away. Selecting send will send an email message to the recipient where they will get a temporary password and login which lasts for 14 days. If they keep accessing it, it'll remain active. They then get a second email which gives them the URL to visit the page to download the document. That's the page they'll see. That's the download button. And they can choose whether to save or view and download the file, away they go. And in logs, at any time, you can go and you can view your traffic in, received, outgoing, and you can see that goes down to IP address level. So that's our level of control and audit trail that we have for using this system. So that's MoveIt, Enterprise File Manage Transfer. A couple of others to add. Collect printed material from the copiers. When you print documents, go and pick them up. Don't leave them there overnight. And don't leave your laptop on a table or a train. Don't leave it in Starbucks. Any others? Anyone like to add to the list? Anything I've missed?
When you're traveling, either you're on the plane, when you're using your laptop as well, there's people on the plane that may have a look on your computer, so you may look at some data that are actually confidential and should not be shared with those as well.
Be guarded about what you're viewing.
And your smartphones.
Don't have your Bluetooth active. You can stream.
Okay, that's hackable. Any others? I think it's our collective responsibility to look after and take care of our project data. And with that in mind, thank you very much for your time this morning, and may the force be with you.